This is a weird phrase is plaguing scientific papers, and we traced it back to a glitch in AI training data. I think I've heard about this before. I don't remember if I read it. I think I've looked at this before. So this is a little bit of fun about yeah, we'll see. We'll just go over this and we'll see how it goes. As always, my first time reading this article, although I do know something about this, and yeah, let me know. Earlier this year, scientists... you know what we're going to do? See how... Yeah, we can go like this. Earlier this year, scientists discovered a peculiar term appearing in published papers. Vegetative electron microscopy. Vegetative... God fucking... Okay. Yeah, every time I highlight something. Vegetative electron microscopy. This phrase sounds technical but is actually nonsense, has become a digital fossil, an error preserved and reinforced in artificial intelligence AI systems that is nearly impossible to remove from our knowledge repositories. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, what is it, internet worms? The original sort of bugs in the system where things would just get replicated, old style mimetics where things are getting copied. But yeah, so I'm trying to remember, there was the first internet virus was created by mistake because in the first ARPANET or whatever, there was some sort of email that would replicate, and as soon as it would get to one system, it would automatically forward it to a bunch of other systems, and it would just go around in a circle, and no one could stop it in time. Everyone had to disconnect all at once to stop it, and it just couldn't happen. Yeah, a good worm, been a minute exactly, misadventures. But this is kind of what it is. This is the new fucking internet worm. It's getting into the AI systems. And so this is just kind of fun. We really are just replicating the same fucking problems we've had in the past. Like biological fossils trapped in rock, these digital artifacts may become permanent fixtures in our information ecosystem. The cave of vegetative electron microscopy offers a troubling glimpse into how AI systems can perpetuate and amplify errors throughout our collective knowledge. Crafter says they have a funny story. First time when they used machine learning was to make the program differentiate images of dogs between wolves, but the MLP learned to do that because it learned about snow, so the program didn't know how to do it. Yeah, so that's also part of the problem, is that you teach it something, but you don't know what you've taught it. So I was like, yeah. Chocolate says, we should feed them as much crap as possible. I'll be the joke gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. I mean, It All Costs Money was doing that earlier. Just injecting, nonsense into their statements. And then, a human can, pick out what's good and what isn't. But if the machine learning stuff is trying to learn from that sentence, it won't be able to do that. Crafter says, the program just learned that in the pit with snow there were wolves. Yeah. So it just was, looking at the white balance, and that's how it knew what a wolf was. It's yep. Okay, a bad scan and an error in translation. Vegetative electron microscopy appears to have originated through a remarkable coincidence of unrelated errors. I mean, this is how viruses get created. Things combine and then they kill us. First two papers from the 50s published in the journal Bacteriological Reviews were scanned and digitized. However, the digitizing process erroneously combined vegetative from one column of text with electron from another. As a result, the phantom term was created. So let's see. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can see over here on the right side, we have two columns, and it somehow got, read directly across instead of down the column. It All Costs Money says, indeed, helicopter pen I was. Yes, I agree. It all costs money. Yep. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. Decades later, vegetative electron microscopy turned up in some Iranian scientific papers. In 2017 and 2019, two papers used the English captions and abstracts. I've noticed some things about... So I've actually looked for papers that I couldn't find. I didn't have access to the repository where a certain paper was located. So I was looking for terms in the paper, seeing if I could find a PDF somewhere online. This is years ago, before the access to online papers was more convenient. And I found a copy of the paper, and I found it in what looked like a bootleg journal from some Middle Eastern country. So I don't know what Iranian scientific papers were, but what they had done was they had republished the research from a Western researcher in their journal under a different name. I think that's either, I don't think they were going to claim priority, but maybe they wanted that research available to their population, and so they needed to be able to have a approved journal that they could reference. And so stuff is getting copied in weird ways sometimes. And so I know what happened here. Someone was in one of these countries that they may not have had access or had limited access, was trying to include this research among the things that they had access to. Okay, so this appears to be due to a translation error. In Farsi, the words for vegetative and scanning differ only by a single dot. Aha. So you can see, oh wow, I did not know this. This is fascinating. So you can see right here, I don't know if you can see on stream, all right, there's two, what's it called? Fingers on the screen. But the left one, there's one dot here and two dots there. I did not know that. So when they were trying to get that term into their system, it was yeah, there. Oh, thank you for coming by, Craftus. I appreciate it. Yeah, and get some rest. Again, this is Twitch. It's your health is more important. Okay. So an error on the rise. The upshot: as of today, vegetative electron microscopy appears in 22 papers according to Google Scholar. One was subject of a contested retraction from a Springer Nature journal, and Elsevier issued a correction for another. Yeah, so these are major publishers that should not be publishing spam or AI slop, and that's what they must have done, because there's no reason for this term to exist otherwise. It's part of a mistranslation. The term also appears in news articles discussing subsequent integrity investigations. Vegetative electron microscopy began to appear more frequently in the 2020s. To find out why, we had to peer inside modern AI models and do some archaeological digging through the vast layers of data they were trained on. Sakno says, I was going to share this with to Craftus. It has an ideology rather than being a better search engine, which would be more suited in that direction than having the user think critically. Well, that was part of what we were reading earlier, is that there is definitely a bias to these technologies. I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it recently, but the greatest trick big tech ever pulled was convincing the public that it was neutral. Big tech loves saying, we just present the data. That is the farthest from the truth. They present the data in order to make themselves money. And it's a grand lie that they pulled off to make themselves act like, oh, we're just neutral search engines. We're just neutrally providing this web browser, all this stuff. And that's even more the case with this AI stuff, because it's trained on a very specific subset of data and it does certain things better than others. And yeah, it's just how it goes. Sakna says, yeah, it's capitalist ideology in form of technology. Yeah, this is definitely a capitalist product. It just is. I mean, this was not meant for, yes, some people are working for the betterment of humanity and the AI can be used in that way. The products we have today are not that is not their only goal. They're trying to make money with this. I mean, go look at the valuations for OpenAI and all the other stuff. Look at what the stock market did when that DeepSeek came out and undercut some of the other AI, LLM products. It's all about money. So yeah. Okay, empirical evidence of AI contamination. The large language models behind modern AI chatbots, such as ChatGPT, are trained on huge amounts of text to predict the next likely word in a sequence. The exact contents of a model's training data are often a closely guarded secret. Yeah, this is where they got this stuff, is they stole a lot of that data. In neutral, yes, chocolate. Yes, capitalist technology in form of technology. Viper says engineers make tools, capitalists use those tools to bash workers. Yeah, it's always strange when I see tech people having shitty opinions, because, for a long time here in the United States, tech was a very good business, but all of a sudden now tech is getting shitted on and, the workers need protections, and that's not how the industry went. Chocolate says, don't overlook the ownership motives than profit often control. That too. Yep. Stole. Hey, Globus, what's up? Stole. Yeah. Stole. Yeah, I mean, this is part of my problem. Is like, I think I mentioned this to you, Globus, once on your stream. And if anyone's more, like, Globus has better analysis on this tech stuff than I do, but Globus does AI news and commentary like twice a day, and it's like, if you want to go talk about this, like what's going on, you go over to Globus's. He's really excellent. But like I said, I think I said to Globus, I said this earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were here, but my site went down. My WordPress site went down because it overwhelmed the SQL process from all the chat GPT bots. And it's like, I didn't put that stuff up to train large language models, and they're fucking up my site, and it pissed me off because I was doing it for other purposes. Now, do I mind them like using my data? Not really, but not if you're gonna fuck up what I was trying to do. And so like, I turned off the robots.txt, but I don't trust, like, you have to realize the bots really don't always do what I say. So it's like, they are violating my copyright. Sure, it's like, but like, what am I gonna do about this? So yeah. So I was like, yeah, my stuff is getting read by these bots, and I didn't agree to that. So, whatevers. Okay. But yeah, the exact content, stupid thing, why? The exact contents of a model's training data are often a closely guarded secret. Yeah. They don't want you to know how they're doing what they're doing. Don't find out how the sausage is made. Hey, worship, fuck off. Yeah, basically. I mean, you wish the robots.txt like would be respected, but like, there's no guarantee that it is. The libraries are open, but not the training data browser. You know, like, they show you what they did to analyze the data, but they don't show you the data that they used. So yeah, you've seen reports of that happening. Yeah, I've seen also poison websites, like black hole websites. Maybe I saw this on Globus's stream, where people make a website that just basically goes in a circle that just keeps generating more links and feeding the AI bots bad data. And so it's sort of like a poison honeypot of like links. So it's like, there's things, but I'm sure they're going to ban that stuff fast. Misadventures is the AI model scraping data while the company claims it is not. Yeah. I mean, there was the Facebook link that said they torrented like huge amounts of books to, you know, make their bot. And like, I have no reason to distrust the link that's what Facebook was up to. And basically the Facebook, I think, was just trying to say, yeah, well, you're going to like cede control to the Chinese if you don't let us like break the law. It's like, yeah. Digital Tarpist. Thank you, Vipers. Could not remember the name. Sockner says, of course they aren't going to share with you what they're doing with that information. Yep. Yeah. Rural says, teaching LMs dumb shit isn't your day job. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting paid, I mean, it's going to happen one way or another. It's like, got to figure out how to get paid about this stuff. And basically, I got screwed at work, not directly because of AI, but indirectly. I think because of AI got used in a system and it didn't really work. So one of the departments, the accounting, got sold on a new product that was like, oh yeah, it's going to work great. It didn't work great, but they were sold on the AI bullshit. And then now with the current administration in the United States, we're getting some of our funding cut because I work for a nonprofit. So my boss was going to try to get me a better job at work because the accounting system wasn't working for us. And my boss's boss's boss saw what my boss was up to, that like he was justifying more work to be done, and then gave it to one of his people. So I was probably going to get a promotion, and it was given to somebody else that like a higher up person wanted to protect. And it's like, and this takes work away from me, so my job's crappier now. But it's like, this is just the sort of shit that's going on. It's like, I wasn't actually screwed by the AI, but indirectly I was, because it was started by someone getting sold on some AI bullshit and how they didn't know what it would do. Granted, it was always going to be a year or two coming, but like, I got screwed this year as opposed to the future. Ugh. So I got to figure out what to do. Well, like, yeah, you got to teach the LLMs how to make it work. All right, what were we saying? Okay, so to test whether a model knew about vegetative electron microscopy, we input snippets of the original papers to find out if the models would complete them with the nonsense term or with more sensible alternatives. The results were revealing. OpenAI's ChatGPT-3 consistently completed phrases with vegetative electron microscopy. Earlier models such as ChatGPT-2 and BERT did not. This pattern helped us isolate when and where the contamination occurred. Oh, so they really tracked it down. That's very cool. We also found the errors persist in the later models of ChatGPT 4.0 and Anthropic's Claude 3.5. This suggests the nonsense term may now be permanently embedded in AI knowledge bases. So yeah, so you can see that it has like something here that, let's see what the caption says. Okay, so yeah, they have, this is like the completion score. So they have things that would give it a next, like they could use it. Okay, by comparing what we know about the training datasets of different models, we identified the common crawl dataset of scraped internet pages as the most likely vector where AI models first learned this term. So this common crawl, let's see what commoncrawl.org is. So this is a free open repository of web crawl data that can be used by anyone. Okay, so yeah, these people have used a service to the internet without being clean data. They didn't clean the data themselves, and the AI companies use the data without cleaning it either. Not surprised. I mean, it's very hard to get clean data, but like that's what happened. The scale problem. Finding errors of this sort is not easy. Fixing them may be almost impossible. One reason is scale. The common crawl dataset, for example, is millions of gigabytes in size. For most researchers outside large tech companies, the computing resources required to look at this scale are inaccessible. Yeah, this is hard. Yeah, cleaning data is very, very difficult. Another reason is lack of transparency in commercial AI models. OpenAI and many other developers refuse to provide precise details about the training data for their models. Research efforts to reverse engineer some of these datasets have also been stymied by copyright takedowns. Yeah, they definitely don't want to show you how they did what they did. When errors are found, there is no easy fix. Simple keyword filtering could deal with specific terms such as vegetative electron microscopy. However, it would also eliminate legitimate references such as this article. More fundamentally, the case raises an unsettling question. How many other nonsensical terms exist in AI systems waiting to be discovered? Yeah, if there's one, you know there's going to be others. It's like cockroaches. If you see one ant, that means that ant came from somewhere and there's a whole nest of them. You just have only seen that one ant. So it's like, that's exactly what this is. Implications for science and publishing. This digital fossil also raises important questions about knowledge integrity as AI assistant research and writing becomes more common. Skibbity Riz, exactly, Globus. Publishers have responded inconsistently when notified of papers including vegetative electron microscopy. Some have retracted affected papers, while others defended them. Elsevier notably attempted to justify the terms of validity before eventually issuing a correction. Yeah, they're like, no, it's good. We do not yet know if other such quirks plague large language models, but it is highly likely. Either way, the use of AI systems has already created problems for the peer review process. For instance, observers have noted the rise of tortured phrases used to evade automated integrity software such as counterfeit consciousness instead of artificial intelligence. Additionally, phrases such as I am an AI language model have been found in other retracted papers. Yeah, we've read stuff that we know was just like slop generated by some not even very good LLM on this stream before. It's just bad. And the reason we could see it is they actually deleted out like the I am an AI language model, but they kept repeating the same phrase over and over. So what it looked like that author had done was they asked a few questions in succession and then just put the responses together, and then so you had repeated phrases in the repeated questions. And it's like, it's like, why did you just repeat your full 2 sentences or whatever? Some automatic screening tools, such as Problematic Paper Screener, now flag vegetative electron microscopy as a warning sign of possible AI-generated content. However, such approaches can only address known errors, not undiscovered ones. Living with digital fossils. The rise of AI creates opportunities for errors to become permanently embedded in our knowledge systems through processes no single actor controls. This presents challenges for tech companies, researchers, and publishers alike. And All Cosmic says, let's start our own nonsensical philosophical term. You know, there's enough nonsense out there costs. And make it spread as a knowledge virus? I mean, we could if we had a really cool term. But like, the question is, what's the goal of that? Like, it's a fun idea, but like, could we just create a good meme otherwise? I mean, as Globus says, what the fuck does skibbity riz mean? Who cares? Like, it's now like proliferated throughout the internet. It'll take on a life of its own. So even if we do start our own philosophical term that's nonsensical or whatever, it will, if as soon as it gets beyond us, it won't matter anymore. It will take on its own life. And so it's like, do something. It'd be better to like actually make some good content, you know, like what we're trying to do. Okay, I also just had an idea here. What value does intentionally introducing nonsense into a system bring? Well, this is just terrorism. Globus, just trying to fuck the system up, I think, is what's going on here. You want to be able to identify it by, you know, the fucked up stupid things it says, because we have been introducing nonsense to it. So I think it's just poisoning the well is what cost might be up to. And you know, some people just want to see AI burn. Although I am thinking that the idea of digital fossils may not actually be a bad thing in the future. Maybe we like the idea that there are weird internet like leftovers from whatever old systems there are, just like we've got weird non-functional things in our body that eventually get reused in some new way. So like maybe this is actually the start of a proper evolutionary process where these mistakes in training actually will create new systems in the future that are generated off all of these old mistakes. So maybe this is actually the start of new life. A little bit of a optimistic take I'm giving there. Very strange for me. Okay, finishing up. Tech companies must be more transparent about training data and methods. Researchers must find new ways to evaluate information in the face of AI-generated convincing nonsense. Scientific publishers must improve their peer review process to spot both human and AI-generated errors. Digital fossils reveal not just the technical challenge of monitoring massive data sets, but the fundamental challenge of maintaining reliable knowledge in systems where errors can become self-perpetuating. Junk Kapoor, yeah, exactly. Unreal. All Cost Money says, I suggest epistemic malarchic psychosocialism. I mean, I see you get your kek in there. Malarkey, so it's malarkek, and psychosocialism. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, that's not bad cost. Epistemic malarchic psychosocialism. Yeah, we'd have to start like bringing it up all the time, but sure. Brian says, which sounds close to the AI tar pits that people are deliberately setting up to kill the AIs that are stealing art. Yep, exactly. I mean, that's part of it. It's like, it's just poisoning the well, the tar pits. Frank says, genes have a pretty finely tuned rate of mutation. Higher rates would hard wreck our ability to reproduce. That's fair. Yeah. But, I mean, the idea that we have some junk in our genes and in our bodies, like, that is kind of just, you know, our genetic history here. And so I'm saying that these things have a training data history that will, like, perpetuate through them may not be a problem over time, I'm saying. It may be a problem for us reading the output, but we already had a problem with it generating hallucinations or whatever you want to call them. Like, we already had to check the data. You can't just take what an LLM outputs as, you know, the truth. You couldn't do that anyway. So I'm a little, like, maybe I'm less concerned about this, since I already don't think you can, like, just trust the AI to give you the right answer every time. Well, the fact that there are these things that were trained into it that are already wrong, I don't, like, so what? Mimetic sabots? Yeah, sabotage? Sure. Is sabot a word? I don't know that one, Vipers. Frank says, this sounds like too rapid an increase in error rate for our memes. Yeah, That's fair, Frank. This is a different sort of thing. It's not the same as like memes or whatever. But like, yeah. Frank says Ivan might say continental philosophy is already spandrels enough in our memes. Frank says Sabbath is a wooden shoe they would throw into the machines to break them. Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's fair. Mimetic Sabbats. That's cute. That's very cutesy. Good job, Vipers.